Hey guys, you know, it's a bit of a this is a bit of a follow-up to my review, my live review, and even my live reaction of The Best Gift Ever. And here's the thing about this. The overall consensus is everybody enjoyed the episode. Even when certain fans like Malonimus um, pokes fun at it with his parody of Everything Wrong, which is a CinemaSins deal. You could tell he enjoyed it. Dark Horse KC enjoyed it. A lot of folks enjoyed it. But even though through that enjoyment, there were some issues that some fans took issue with. There were some things that fans did not enjoy. I think the first thing that a lot of fans didn't enjoy was, like I was saying, I think the only real issue fans um, had with this, or probably the first main issue, was the premiere date, which was basically. But like I said, I think the one thing that fans, the first thing overall, I should say, that fans did, kind of had an issue with, when it came to the special was its premiere date, and the fact that it came out 4 days before Halloween. But however, I should say, there is a counter argument, and that counter argument is, um, it's not really that unusual, especially especially when you basically look at the fact that you got the Hallmark Channel that was doing all these Christmas movies to count to the Countdown to Christmas deal, which started on Friday. You you take a look at the fact that you got retail stores that are setting up for Halloween, but also setting up for Christmas, and knowing that after Halloween's over, Christmas is going to be the main priority, with Thanksgiving right in the middle, even though Thanksgiving is before Christmas. And and then on top of that, you have other studios out there like DreamWorks releasing Christmas-related stuff on Netflix, on home video, uh, during the last week or the last 2 weeks in October. So it's no big deal. It's not a real big issue. I think what it is just it throws a lot of people off that the Discovery family decided to air it at this time instead of wait to air it maybe around Thanksgiving, which ironically is when it's premiering on Netflix on Thanksgiving weekend. So, I think that's the other. I think that is one of the issues that fans had with an overall enjoyable episode was the premiere date. But like I said, when you think about it, it's not really much of a big deal, especially when you look at other channels like Hallmark. You take a look at, even Netflix is doing it with some of the movies and shows they have. So it's not a big deal. It's not really a big deal. The other thing that fans felt was not a not much negative, but more of a really Hasbro. You're going this direction. You're going to go with this as one of the subplots, and that was the whole Spike Rarity deal. Um, I think Millennium said this best in their "Everything Is Wrong" parody. They said, "Really, Hasbro? I thought we were over this." Well, I'll say this: if you looked at season 8, I think it's very obvious that the creative staff um, looks at the Sparity deal and is like, at the Sparity situation, and they're like, you know what? Let's run with this. Let's go with this, because I think because you got to remember what the main theme was of season 8, not just a true testing of friendship, but mostly accepting those for who they are, no matter what race or what species they can be. Yeah, but like I was saying, I think fans are more not negative towards the whole situation. It was more like, really, Hasbro? You know, this is going to be a subplot, but I think it worked out fine because, as one fan told me in the comments, basically this is the overall answer or the overall um, consensus this fan gave me was basically this isn't a relationship that is kind of built step by step. It's like it's an inspiration to where you're working towards a goal, towards a dream, and making it a reality, but you're not rushing into it. And that's kind of what you're getting here with Rarity and Spike. You know, Spike in earlier seasons would be more like, oh, I have to be a Rarity, I have to be. But I think the writers are looking at the fact that, well, he's growing up, he's accepting that, yeah, I still have these deep feelings that go beyond friendship for Rarity, but I need to take my time. I need to think about what I'm going to do for her. I got to think about what I'm going to get for her. And he finally just decides, you know what? I'm just going to go down a path I know that I got from her, and that's be creative. Just come up with a gift. And the gift he comes up with at the end is a very sweet, in a sense, a very sweet love song. And, you know, despite how you feel about the ship and the pairing of these two, it's a very sweet love song that, you know, really sends a message. And that is, he deeply cares about her. And he deeply feels for her more than just as a friend. And, you know, that's why when you think about it, even though you can sour on how he got Rarity in exchange for Fluttershy getting Rainbow Dash, you can overall understand why he wanted to do this. And yeah, you know, it might have not made Fluttershy look very, you know, very smart. It may have not made, um, like I said, it may have not made her look very smart. It made Spike look like he was desperate or something. But you know, in the end, when you think about it, it was kind of worth it because it's like, you know, at first he's like, you know, what am I going to get her? He can't figure it out, and then he realizes, you know what? I'm just going to go with, like I said, what brought him, what he did for Smolder as a thank you for helping him out. He created something, and that's a great callback to uh, a later episode in season 8. You know, Father Knows Beast. You know, where he created that pillow as a thank you to Smolder for helping him. He did the same thing here for Rarity, and you know, he even said, "Look, you know, you're not present. Your presence not totally complete, but it's the best I can do." And what he came up with was very sweet. It was a very sweet, in a sense, love song that morphed a song that into a song by Twilight and the rest of the main six of, hey, it doesn't matter, you know, what kind of gift we get each other. That basically, as long as we know we did our best, that's all that matters. So yeah, you know, I like I said, you know, the first part of it with, you know, Spike, you know, quick talking, smooth talking, wheeling and dealing kind of thing with Fluttershy and making her not look like smart enough to realize what happened. Again, I stick by the fact that I think she probably did find out what occurred, and is the kind of character that's more like, you know, if that means that much to him, it's cool with me. If it makes him happy to switch and trade and him getting Rarity and me getting Rainbow, then so be it. You know, I have no problem with it whatsoever. And speaking of Fluttershy, some people didn't. That was another thing fans kind of took issue with was the way she was portrayed. It was like she was portrayed as the Fluttershy of the past, being gullible, like I said, because of what Spike did, and being gullible, falling for the scam that Flim and Flam was throwing at her and other ponies, but then kind of coming back into her own and kind of redeeming herself at the end by basically being that Fluttershy that fans saw develop throughout the series. And again, that was a good payoff despite the start with Fluttershy and how she was portrayed. And I think the other thing fans took issue with was during the beginning song we see Sugar Belle and Big Mac under what it seems to be like a mistletoe, kissing each other, basically Big Mac kissing her on the forehead and everything. And then in the background, you see Marble Pie kind of sulk away in sadness, like, she can't see this. She can't she can't be there to see this. She can't stand. She can't take what she's seen. And they kind of shrug that off a little bit um, later on when Pinky's interacting with his sisters. But yeah, fans didn't like that. They didn't like what they did there because of the fact it's like you're basically saying, yeah, that was just a tease. It's like, yeah, we acknowledge that, but that's in the past. This is the future. So yeah, it wasn't a good look on their part, art, but when they did that during the opening song. But again, this moment, along with the other moments, did not deter everybody's overall enjoyment of the episode. So yeah, were there some negatives like the ones I mentioned? Absolutely, and I think those were some, if not some of the main negatives that fans had. But it's kind of like when you grade something. Everybody like me looks at this as a 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100 episode. But if you were to take points away, mainly like 4 points, you'd be looking at maybe a 6 out of 10, a 96 out of 100, or an 8 out of 10, or something like that. And yeah, that's basically the rating you got. Basically, when you think about it, it is a above average to perfect episode, depending on how you view it, and whether or not you take certain moments that were shown during the episode special, whatever you want to call it. If you take certain moments that you felt had a negative impact, you take those and basically add that to the overall your overall score. Then yeah, it does bring the score down from a perfect score to basically, like I said, between a 6 out of 10 and an 8 out of 10, and that's pretty much the truth. It's pretty much the truth there. But overall, though, the overall consensus, depending on how you grade it, how you look at it, was everyone enjoyed the episode, and I think that's all that really matters. So that's really all I'm going to say on it, guys. So let me know what you think down below. Comment if you like. And I am out, and thank you all for listening.